Hello, everyone. Carlos Flores, back on basics. So, let's talk about life balance in a different way. Uh, for me, life balance it's kind of like a wheel, right, with spokes, right? If you can imagine, I always visualize. That's my number one thing. I visualize a wheel with spokes, and each spoke is something different that makes the wheel turn. So it's like one of those spokes is resting, right? Uh, I'll be honest with all of you. Today. I don't know why I felt a little tired, a little fatigued, and so I took a nap. I mean, I actually took an hour and a half or 2 hour nap. I don't even remember how much. And so that got me energized because I then started working on my next spoke, which is my credential program. I mean, I'm at the tail end of the credential program, and I'm trying to get things done, and I want to make sure that I earn, right, my that I'm awarded my credential program in special education. And so, I mean, it's one of those spokes, right? And how can you and some of the questions that some of you have sent me is how can I balance everything? Well, again, right? We're going to have to compartmentalize some things. We have to divide and conquer, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, Sometimes, in life we have a lot of spokes, and other times we don't, not as many. And it's easier to do that. But, but then a lot of the times what we end up doing is we're doing piecemealing here and there and there and there, and it's different stuff. The thing is that if you're working on when you're multitasking and you're going beyond your comfort level, uh it's going to start mixing in all of the assignments or all of the tasks that you have to do. So again, right? Make sure that if you're focusing on something, that's the only thing that you're focusing on at that time. The thing that you can do is you can actually set a timer. You can, for me, if I put instrumental music on and I set my timer for, I don't know, 30 minutes to 45 minutes, I can work. And it opens my mind. I'm humming to the beat, and it helps me, and I get a lot done. But at the same time, right, you have to be mindful that once that ends, that alarm sounds off, then you may want to have a 10 to 15-minute break. And again, I'm just telling you this if you're doing multitasking, um, like on the weekend, like I've been doing today, right? I cleaned a little bit, uh, spent time with the cats. Here, look, say hi, Mochi. So, spent time with the cats, did a little shopping, and so got some stuff done and connected with family members, connected with others around me. And so, uh, just make sure that when you are going to do something that's going to take you step by step by step or different things, remember that it's kind of like a wheel, right? Everything, the wheel goes around. And if you keep on doing the things, if you keep on completing the spokes that you have, it's gonna go around, and it's gonna go around and round and round. And so, but at the same time, again, give yourself time, because you can't just go with unlimited time, because then the whole day or the whole afternoon or the evening is gonna go by and you're not gonna get nothing accomplished. So again, right? Compartmentalize. That's one of my things that I usually tell my students in the ninth grade at the high school. Make sure that you have buckets, right? And make sure, or I give them the wheel and the spokes. Right? Make sure that all the spokes are being utilized. That you're doing things with them. That you're doing it. If and I usually tell them, if a spoke doesn't get done, maybe in a certain time amount of time, or maybe in a day or two or three, then you have to be realistic with yourself if that's something that you want to continue doing. Look, these videos, this is one of my major spokes. So I'm always doing videos. You know, I yesterday didn't do any videos because I was actually trying to make sure that I get my phone updated to the latest version of the software, and then at the same time, I was actually saying, okay, I'm also, because of this, I'm gonna take this time off in and on doing videos, but I'm gonna work on, my school, which I ended up doing today also. So I have many different spokes that I'm trying to make sure that I get things done. And one of the things that helps me a lot is, again, mindful. Separate each task. Time. Set a timer for each of the tasks. Be realistic, ladies and gentlemen. You can't just take the whole afternoon if you have multiple things that you have to do. Make sure that you connect with those that support you, and see if they can give you their perspective on how you're doing. And then, ladies and gentlemen, and then in between those spokes of the wheel, right? The wheel goes round. If you keep those spokes, right, going and being active, give yourself a break. My max break sometimes in between things, 15-20 minutes. Or you can give yourself a micro break. If you're focused on something, just give yourself a micro break, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then get back into whatever you're doing or whatever the next task is. So again, right, why am I talking about this? It's because it's one of the things that I have been dealing with all my life. A lot of the times in the past, I tend to do everything all at once. And that's not good, because you get stressed, right? Because you forget to complete something, because you're not communicating with the people that you need to communicate, because you're not enjoying your free time as well. So again, make sure that you're separating all the spokes on the wheel, right? All the tasks that you have to do for the day, for the week, for the month, and at the same time, give yourself breaks, either micro breaks from 5 to 10 minutes, or just, regular breaks from maybe 15 to 20 minutes. And then again, right? Move to the next spoke, or finish what you're doing, so that way you can move on to the next task. Why again am I doing this? I want to make sure that I give you my experience. I mean, so that way you're able to learn from my mistakes, right? Because again, doing everything all at once and kind of interjecting here and there, what's going to happen is you might end up making a mistake. You might end up doing something that you weren't supposed to do in one task versus the other. So again, separate. Life balance. And you know what that brings when this is flowing well? It's here. Your mind is clear. Your mind is sharp. Your mind is doing the things that needs to be done. So again, separate things. Give yourself breaks, right? Make sure that you're balancing your life. It can't be just all one thing, because if you do that, you're gonna burn out. You don't want to burn out. You want to have life balance. You want to be completing the task. You want to get to the goals that you want to get to. So if you have any questions, put them in the comment section at Back on Basics 9985. So remember, just make sure that you're taking enough breaks, because that way you'll keep your mind sharp. Back on Basics.